Head into town. I don't give a fuck if the bridge is busy. You're a cab driver. Hey. Hello, Roman Bellic Enterprises. No, Mr. Bellic is stepped away from his office. Can I take a message? Okay, great. No, I'm not gay. Yes, I'll tell him. Car 7, head to South Slopes. Come on, where are you, Mohammed? Hello, Roman Belic's up. Shit, fucking battery. This is chaos.
Capitalism is a dirty business.
Yeah? Like war?
Not exactly.
No, maybe not. When you going to tell me properly about what happened? I'm not going to judge you.
When you got time.
There, I have time.
Another time. Can I help?
Okay, yes. Go pick up my friend little Jacob. He's a good man. Likes to smoke a bit. Look after him. He's on Oneida Avenue in South Slopes. Nico, man, we should talk sometime. I'm a good listener.
Whatever, man.
Mohammed, what the fuck? Oh, Miss Weinstock. No, not you. What can I do for you today?
Hello everyone, welcome back to GTA 4. This will be hopefully the last post-commentary episode of the game for a while. I hope to do live commentary for the foreseeable future. Sometimes you just gotta poke a car. And as you can see, as it is for about 3/4 of every day in this game, it is currently gray o'clock. Kind of infrequently compared to San Andreas, but sometimes it does happen in this game, but it happens more frequently in San Andreas where you get orange o'clock. That sunset sunrise thing. And I mean with San Andreas it's just exacerbated by the loading capabilities of the PS2. I love beeping. I do a little bit of that later on, some more beeping. Makes people really angry.
Cousin Nico, gonna help Roman take over the world and thing.
I guess so.
Respect, alright. We're going to this spot where I needed to wait for us. See? I gotta ask you another favor too.
Go for it.
Can you take this piece? Hear anything bad going down? You come and help, sight?
I don't think this part ever really, like, bothered me because it was just a GTA game and, like, you gotta start shooting folks eventually, but I find it very strange that, and I mean, I know that a bunch of people, like, in Roman's proximity are, like, small-time criminals, but I don't know. I just feel like it would be very strange to be a cab driver or to be picked up by a cab driver and to just assume that they would be cool, A, with, like, overseeing this drug deal, and B, with, like, covering your ass. But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that shit happens with these, you know, skeevy cab places and whatever. I will say, I think that where I hope this game will, you know, contrast itself in a good way with the story of 5 for me as I play through it, is the fact that you know, its critique of, like, the notion of the American dream or whatever is, you know, spoken through a story where you start at the bottom and, you know, I mean, especially in a big city. I mean, I don't live in New York, but in Philly, certainly, a bunch of the sort of just, like, background businesses that you see that you're like, oh, who would ever fucking go there? Like, why? Just those, like, nondescript buildings that just say, like, you know, store or whatever, or just with very, like, specific or esoteric services, where you'd be like, huh, I am kind of surprised that someone can, like, run a whole business of that, you know, that they make enough money to have this building and shit. I like how these police officers showed up not to the shootout drug deal, but to nothing, and just got out of the car, and then one of them just didn't get back in, and they're like, alright, all in a day's work. But yeah, as opposed to 5, where, you know, I mean, I guess Franklin's kinda starting from the bottom in a way, but he doesn't really ever buy into any of that stuff about America or anything. And Michael is like, he's the most interesting character because he's someone who has been like drowned in it for years and is, you know, can only find satisfaction in like crime and murder. And then I've never found Trevor intensely interesting either, because he's just kind of like a sociopath. Like, he kind of just murders for whatever reason. He doesn't seem to have, like... The only interesting things about him are his relationship with Michael. Everything that has to do with his proximity to Michael. And yeah, I love doing this, because people will stop every single time that you beep at them. It does not matter where you are. And I love when people drop their coffees and shit. Like, you don't even really have to do all of that much to get people to do it. Like, I've had people in this game where I was just running past them, like, 5 feet away from them. And they were just like, holy fuck, and they just dropped their... Or when they drop their coffee without any, like, emotion whatsoever. That's also funny, and also happened.
Your cousin owes me a lot of money. If you don't want to make things real difficult for him, you are going to come to Cameron's bar in Mohawk. I have a work for you. Yo, Nico, walk one.
Alright, you know, getting by.
Yo, we need your help with something, you know? Will you come on my place on Dillon Street?
Sure, I was looking to branch out a bit anyway. I'll see you soon.
Excuse me, I was coughing. Not because of sickness, but because I swallowed my water wrong. Which I do a lot, I've been noticing, as I've been sitting in my house for days. Yeah, I don't know why. Like, you'd think 23 years on this earth, I would have figured out how to fucking swallow a beverage, but... alas, I was trying to burp. So yeah, I was on my way to Vlad, and then like 30 seconds later I got that call from Little Jacob, and then I was like, oh shit, Little Jacob's missions are better. Like, they're more fun. So I'm gonna do those first. Because Vlad, he's the more important to at least this part of the plot, but like, he'll move the plot along more than Little Jacob's missions, but he also sucks and is very annoying.
What?
What, Nico?
Hey,
Love to see the man, you know. Want to my man, Roman.
Roman. He's okay. He's still waiting for his big break, eh?
Big break. Sure. I promise I'll comfort to a fool, you know, Nico. A boy for creep before him can walk, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go for a little drive. Come.
Little Jacob is fun, even though without subtitles I would have no idea what he's saying. And even with subtitles, I don't always know exactly what he means. I mean, I've kind of figured out most of the lines just because I've played this game so much and I kind of get the context. And also I have a slightly better grasp of Jamaican slang than I did when I first played this game. There's that burp. But by no means am I an expert at all. So it still can be kind of, sometimes I'm like, okay, I get the gist, but I don't really know what you're saying. Anyway, just, you know, normal drug dealer shit. We're going to pick up weed, and then people are gonna get mad, and then we shoot them. It sucks that there are no just like good, pleasant drug deals in this game. Like, look at my door go. Yeah, there's no. Why aren't there any drug deals in these games where they're just like, okay, we're going to pick up some cocaine, and then you go there and they go in and they come back out and they're like, all right, I got it. Just take me home. Like, I understand it's a video game, you want to do some shooties and whatnot, but, you know, I feel like most drug deals work out okay. I feel like if you added up the totality of all the exchanges of drugs from sources to people, I would wager that most of them go fine. Because, you know, but I don't know. I don't know anything about any of that shit. And once again, hitting them with your car is the vastly more efficient and fun way to kill these very not intimidating people. However, if you slam a person's body into a tree with your car right in front of a police officer, that can introduce some problems. It can also introduce some problems when little Jacob's high ass keeps running past your car. But he figured it out eventually. Like, what did he just say? I'm gonna catch me now. Like, I think he's saying I'm not having somebody catch me now, but I don't know. And I didn't have any subtitles there. But yeah, we gotta lose one level, which, as I've said before, is far easier in this game than in 5. I sincerely did not mean to do that. I didn't want to draw more attention to myself. I kind of forgot that this park would be populated with people. I was just using it as a way to fucking get away from the cops. I also thought that there would be another way out of this gate, other than just the one way, but... Ah! I love all the screams in this game. Oh my fucking god. I just remembered... I think it's a TikTok or something, but I saw it on Twitter. This video of this woman with, I think, a ladybug, and it goes on her face, and she starts screaming. And someone said that she sounds like a GTA pedestrian screaming. And I thought it was a very apt description. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. Well, Jacob just ate shit. I didn't even remember that. If I remember, I'll put it in the description, and then and you'll be able to watch it. This part's fun. This is like the first proper shootout of the game. I mean, I know we just had one, but this one is better. I don't know why. The only thing that sucks about it is I have never gotten a good shot while in cover through this window, because he takes like 2 minutes to get out of cover, and usually they just shoot you in that time, and most of the time when you stand up, you can't aim where you're actually going to shoot because you're going to move when you stand and we get out of cover. And so I always just end up hitting fucking nothing, just the wall. And so I just like to freehand it. I also find this part easier to freehand. I know you can go behind like the couch and do cover that way, but I don't know. I feel like this is the easier way. I usually just shoot this dude's arm and then he will fly out and then you can hit him, but I kind of fucked it up. And you may notice that I go for headshots pretty much whenever I can in this game, just because, I mean, you can fucking guess why. It just kills the boys faster. Like... Anyway, so I wanted to mention this at the beginning of the video and it completely didn't cross my mind, but in a moment, after the end of this mission, we are going to transition into the stupid part of the video where I did a fucky wucky again, and I forgot that I streamed last night and had my OBS settings set to when I stream, which is when I have my mic on and the desktop audio only like half recording. So I did record the audio for the game, but I also recorded all of the shit happening in my apartment, including, you know, doing stuff with the dishes and me making noise and like moving around. and all of the people in my apartment building who I think are moving out and have been moving a lot of heavy shit in and out of their room for the last 7,000 hours. And it was all much louder than the game audio, and as far as I know, there's nothing I could do to separate those two audio tracks from the OBS file, so I will try to find some good background music to put under this part, which hopefully you are now hearing, because I don't want it to be completely silent, but it's not like those SpongeBob games where there's just like a constant song playing in every section of the game, so I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be funny. And since we don't have any game audio, I'm not gonna bother, like, stopping talking during these cutscenes. Luckily, I mean, I guess they set up stuff in these two cutscenes, because I'm gonna do 2 missions for Vlad in this video. But first of all, you can read the dialogue in the subtitles if you are really interested. And I mean, most of it is just meeting Vlad, and you already know that he's a dickhead. And I can think of like one more minor plot detail, but it's gonna be expounded upon and made more obvious in like the next mission, so I'm not too worried about it. Neither of these missions are, you know, overly important or amazing. Most of them are just driving somewhere and yelling at someone, and then driving back to Vlad. But I am bummed that once again I have drunk the dumb bitch juice and made this stupid mistake. But it wouldn't be one of my Let's Plays if I didn't fucking do that, I guess. Oh, this is the one that I was very stupid and didn't know how to do when I first, when my first run through this game. I mean, I guess I'm being dumb right now because I keep just dropping the brick. I forgot that you need to aim it. I thought you just threw it with the same button. But yeah, so it says to break the glass window, which, you know, is that. But I would always try to break the also glass window in the door, and it doesn't work. And I don't know why. I feel like it should. I mean, they're both glass. But, yeah, in my first playthrough of this, I think I was trying to recreate a time, or like one of the first times I played through this, where I had a burning car. And when I was driving to the China shop, I don't know how I got the burning car, probably just from ramming into shit enough times. And so it was on fire, and so I just parked it in front of the China shop before I even talked to the dude, and it blew up, and it blew the glass out of the windows, and he came out, and that was the end of it. And so I just thought that you could blow out any of them. And I think that was the first time that I actually played through the game and played that level, or at least in a long time, because every subsequent time I played this game after that, I didn't know that you specifically had to break those windows. because I didn't do it right. I just blew up a car in front of it. So, you should always follow the rules. But here is the other one. Once again, you're not missing much from this silence. Vlad is a big bitch. He is talking to Mallory. That was the fun plot thing that I was alluding to. You can probably see where that's going. I hope I at least pick a funny music choice for this, because there's only like 2 songs from this game that aren't like copyrighted songs with words in them, which I feel like would be distracting. But the 2 songs are like the one that plays in the opening cutscene and the one that plays on the loading screen, and I don't feel like they're good like underneath talking music, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. Maybe I'll just do that silly song from Mario RPG that Walter put in the Call of Duty Ghosts tutorial video. Oh, so I did have one thing while we chase this boy out of a laundromat. Which I always want to try to get into my old car, but by the time I get around to the other side of the building, the van is always really far away. Not that this takes much shorter time, because Nico likes to, you know, just get a good look around, give himself a lot of time to try to break into the car. But I mean, you gotta do it sometimes. It is Grand Theft Auto, so sometimes you have to theft some autos. But I did have written down at some point that I wanted to mention that I was thinking while playing this earlier that I remember when I first saw this game, because again, I didn't own this game until several years after it came out, and but I was at a friend's house when he had just gotten an Xbox, and he had just gotten this game right when it came out. And I was definitely familiar with Grand Theft Auto then, but I was only like 10 or 11 or something, so I didn't really like play it at all. And I remember when I saw this game, I thought that it looked so like realistic and gritty, like because I mean we weren't doing any story stuff, we were just dicking around, and you know, obviously if you know 10-year-old boys in a video game, it's just like, let's, you know, shoot each other, and so, you know, I guess for the time, like 2008, it looked about as realistic as graphics would get at that point, like expectantly for that time, at least as far as I knew. And I was like intimidated by it because I was a kid, and I was like, holy shit, like this game is so graphic and gritty. And now it's like, every time I've played it, this is like a cartoonish game to me, which makes the controversy about it when it came out even more funny to me. But anyway, next time there'll be game audio in the whole video after Nico awakens from his little nap.